Hi, and welcome to my life in currently clear, sunny Central Texas. I'm not out here without my glasses. I just chose to have them off for a bit and let the sun actually touch my eyes with no kind of filtering. I do have shoes on and have stepped on puffballs, but it's that time of day, you know. Now, I'm not as worried about grounding outside as I had been. I'm sleeping with a grounding sheet on the bed. I figure if Professor K says the science is solid behind those, then it might be worth doing. I'm not linking to anything on Amazon because I'm not an affiliate. I don't profit by anything. I'll say I'm using something if you care enough that you want to try it, because he says it'll reduce your risk of a heart attack. Then, if you care that much, you'll go out there and find one. If anyone wants me to link to something, they can ask me to link to something. Yeah, I can say I use an Instant Pot occasionally. I don't make any money if you buy an Instant Pot, and it's not going to change my life any if you don't. There's my good-looking boy over here sitting on my lap. Yeah, being clingy. But, it's just a beautiful day. I got up early and got out the door with Loki and went with him when he went to go to work so I could bring his truck back. I'll go pick him up later. Not a big deal. Yes, we do have plenty of vehicles and they all run. But I was looking to have someone drop me off this afternoon to go with Loki and go do something. We're going to take somebody half or more the distance to Houston because he's a little bit beat up and cannot drive that distance. Our wonderful friend, he had a tumble a while back and really tore up his shoulder. And when you've got one good arm and all of a sudden you don't, it kind of can hurt to try to drive. We don't want him to try to drive to Houston. We're north of Austin. And that's a inconvenient distance if you're hurt. It is not an inconvenience to take care of a friend. More people need to get that kind of thinking into their brains. But yeah, got out the door, got back, had a little patchy fog. Not the kind where there's a patch on this town, there's a patch on that town, and whatnot. It was the kind where there was a light misty fog over much of the area during the night. And then as the roads get traveled on, as people are going to work, a lot of that, the roads warm up even before the sun hits it because people are out there hurrying to work. Somebody in a Chevy Silverado was in such a hurry they did not even pull to the shoulder when first a fire truck and then an ambulance came whizzing by with the lights flashing. So they're on a run. Yeah, Williamson County is one of those places that is such a mix of the affluent and the definitely not affluent, that obesity is a major problem. And they always roll a fire truck when they roll an ambulance. I don't mean roll over like an accident, I mean when they send them out. Because basically, the ambulance crew might not be able to lift someone who needs to go to the hospital. That is unfortunate, but it's a reality. There's a lot of people out there who are not aware of the carnivore map of shopping. If you buy a lot of vegetables and they don't get finished, then what's left still costs you money, but it's decomposing in your refrigerator. And the same goes for all that awesome fresh fruit you want your kids to eat, and then they don't touch it. What you doing, dog? You're a good boy. He needs to hear it even when it's nothing special. Anyway, I had figured I would get dropped off today, but my daughter, I'm proud of her, she's the president of the board at her church, because people have to make things happen, but they're in between ministers, and they've got guidelines to try to meet, and they're trying to get somebody, and somebody actually wants to do the job. But people above her are just having a cow over the use of the word minister. Okay. How about coven leader? How about pulpiteer? You know? Seriously, he can be just worship leader. It doesn't matter. Somebody wants to do it. Hey, puppy dog. That's the end of the walk. You don't need to go past that. Yeah, I was on my way back after leaving Loki at the office when there was just that perfect meeting of the sun was not quite up, but it was brightening up a little bit. And Dyson, you're pushing boundaries, buddy, and I know it, and you know it. Now turn around and come back. He's looking for Daddy. Daddy's not hiding in the truck. Come on. Come on back. Dogs. Gotta love them. Dyson. You don't need to get in trouble, buddy. Come on. Turn around. Dyson, come up here by me. Come on. I'm gonna have to use that word again, aren't I? No. You coming back over here. I've got shoes on. He knows I'll go get him. Alright, he's still in the yard, and headed back this direction. Stay where I can see you. Don't need to go under the truck. She'll get your fur all nasty. That's kind of a cat thing. If you act any more like a cat, I'll be embarrassed. Yeah, had that lovely half light, and the roads were heating up with the commuting traffic, so perfectly clear in between these little patches, and the patches are perfectly nice when they're not in the road, right? The mist rose up and watered the face of the earth. those of you who maybe don't remember, that's straight out of Genesis. Okay, that's a misquote. That's paraphrasing. That's a whole lot better, huh, puppy? I don't have to tell you what to do if you just do what you know you should do. Okay. Anyway, the daughter has meeting after meeting after meeting. I probably could have had the grandson drive me down there in my Xterra and then bring my Xterra back. And I filled up the blue truck when I got the oil changed. And then I got the oil changed in my truck and didn't fill it up because my class was immediately afterward. So the older grandson drove his happy self to school today. And daughter took the Xterra. And she double-checked that I didn't have anything going on. Because she will slip into the gym and get a workout. I could actually possibly ride along and go stand on a vibration plate and maybe use a seated elliptical. Seated because I'm such a crazy fall risk. And the vibration plate is excellent. And it's inside a red light therapy thing. I can't say room because it's a little boothy thing inside of a room. And I could go use that. And it's got handholds up above that you hold on to if you're like me. If you've had an issue, if possible dizziness or falling is an issue, is just one more way to approach life. Assume you're a fall risk, and if you don't fall, it's a good day. Right now, I have a block of pork belly in the oven. I'm gonna make something older grandson will absolutely adore. Usually, I'll make everything for banh mi and then just unsandwich it, just leave out the rolls. You can make a plate with the vegetables, the ferments, the stuff. I'm allergic to cilantro, so I leave it off of mine. I like about half the peppers and no cilantro. But, and he loves that. So today I'm just cooking a small thing of pork belly. Loki's fasting, and for the most part I'll be fasting with him. But I get into ketosis, I think, easier than he does. Which might be why I've been motivated to keep going. Loki is one of those people who cannot do a diet without having his cheat meals. He can't just say, I'm an adult and I'm choosing to eat this. I know what it'll do to me, and that's on me. Nah. Or maybe a little bit. He's like, I'm an adult, I can have what I want. And then he can complain about what he wanted. But the point is, the food industry, it doesn't even have to be on the production side. The farmers have nothing to do with this. But the food industry operates the way the cigarette industry used to. They do everything in their power to make their products more addictive, and it's hard to break the addiction. This is what I've had all my life. Yeah, you're going to keep having it, and it's going to be what you eventually suffer from. And then it's going to be what kills you. A lot of that stuff is what sends your triglycerides up, sends your HDL down, and those are things you need. You need to worry about those. You need your HDL just like you need your LDL. You don't need ding-dongs. You don't need cupcakes. You don't need sugar-coated breakfast cereal. And I don't need blueberries. They make a nice change in my yogurt. That reminds me, I'm out of yogurt. I stopped in a Quick Trip brand convenience store last night after my class, thinking, oh, I'll get the scrambled eggs with some bacon and cheese. No, I look in their menu items. They don't have that on the menu anymore. That I would have eaten. So I walked back out without buying anything. And I get home and I got my jar of yogurt out of the fridge. And I grabbed a spoon and I demolished the yogurt. There's not even enough left to pour some cream in the jar and hope that the cream will become yogurt. Although I've got the fermenting crock cleaned up after all the pickles, and it's glazed on the inside, so it's not like it's going to be holding some nasty flavors. I could be making yogurt. What up, puppy? Yeah, it was raining yesterday, so he was an anxious little boy. He had his thunder shirt on, stuff like that. Today, not so much, except it was thoroughly weird that I left with Loki. He's not used to that. We used to both work full-time, same campus. He's still there. I'm glad to have escaped with my soul intact. And in the tech world, being able to say that is a thing. What up, puppy? What up, baby? You're not scared, right? Oh yeah, you see that dog. He's okay, he's just watching the birds. He's got the big trees along the edge of the property back there behind him. That's where he's watching the birds. Trees are great, birds are great. I'll put my glasses on so that I can see all the trees. There we go. It's nice to get some unfiltered light in your eyes occasionally. That's one of the things I started doing when Dr. Snowberger noticed my vision improving. I don't know if it works for everyone. But, the eyeballs are supposed to look at distances. You're supposed to be scanning your area all the way out to the horizon and try to your ancestors would have been watching for threats, which is part of people who drive and don't see the threat that's ahead of them in the same lane, or maybe their side mirror shows something coming up real fast on the right side where they should not be coming up fast. Trying to pass them on the left where the traffic's too crowded, things like that. There are still threats to try to identify. And it's worth looking up from your screen, look around. I listen for birds, as I might identify the sound of something edible, which is another thing your ancestors did. I'm not going to say my ancestors, I'm going to say your ancestors. Because birds that can be trapped can be eaten. Same for rabbits, ducks, deer. But it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm wearing black yoga pants, so the sunshine feels hot on the knee that needs a hot pack more than the other. But the air is still cool, and that's nice. I probably ought to let the busy daughter know that I have a smallish ham in the fridge for their Easter dinner. I don't know if I'll have any. I might. I could see cutting it up, putting a little splash of pineapple habanero hot sauce on it. Yeah. I don't need the ham or the hot sauce, or some things are just good. So I'll decide when the ham is cooking if I need it. But I probably ought to let her know what's in there, otherwise she will overshop for the weekend. And I have a small bag with a couple of plushes the boys can throw at each other. Dog over there made an aggressive noise. He's not a bad dog. He's had occasions when he's gotten loose and wandered around making friends, investigating the neighborhood. I don't let Dyson out when he's loose. Because this guy, he would probably get exhausted just hauling a string around. You're okay, puppy. You're safe. He's making that noise at a bird or something in his yard. Birds will eat dog food. A lot of people don't realize that. My dad's old dog, Shadow, before she passed, she seemed to understand that Dad liked the robins. Now, up in the middle, the eastern middle of Wyoming, or the middle of eastern Wyoming, I'm not sure how I should say that, You don't get robins right away in the spring. Now, blue jays and cardinals will show up sooner, but they're bullies. They're not very pleasant, and they're often noisy. Robins are reasonably pleasant and less noisy. And Dad's dog had herself a pet robin. Dad couldn't approach a robin. It would fly away. This dog would leave part of her food every day so that the robin would have something to eat. I think that's kind of sweet. For the most part in Texas, we have grackles, blackbirds, doves. Grackles are nasty. Blackbirds are okay. And there's always the finches and all that sort of thing. Some of them are very pretty. You get blues and greens and reds. So everything that has red on it is not necessarily a robin or a cardinal. And if you look out your window, you can try to appreciate what you're seeing. Or you step outside, get some fresh air and some radiation. Yeah, I'm almost ready to lose the flannel shirt. It is going to be an absolutely wonderful day here today. And there's a stray cat out hunting the birds. Cat gotta eat too. What I'm looking forward to, when we were on vacation, I spotted the beginnings of the buds on cactuses. Standard prickly pear cactus. It's the most common in the area. Yeah, buddy, I hear the birds too. And those will be blooming when the heat gets high and the buds are really big and the flowers just open way up. And they're typically bright yellow. Although depending on conditions, the pads of a cactus could be kind of reddish or even purple. Mostly just around the edges. But if we have that kind of weather this summer, I'll make sure to get a picture. Keeps things interesting. Now, when they're like that, they are at risk. It looks interesting, has visual appeal, but you don't really want your cactus to be turning purple. It means conditions are not good. But it's Texas, so it's frequently too hot and too dry. Yes, even too dry for cactus. The year we moved here, we passed many spreads of cactus that had just dried out, shriveled up, and died in the heat. Although if the cactus is healthy this year, I might get a few chunks and sear off the needles and make some nopalitas and teach the boys to eat cactus on their tacos. Just by way of introducing another forageable. People who have never considered eating cactus and might be motivated to go out and try it need to know that there are versions of cactus that you don't want to eat. You don't want to use them for water. You don't want to put them in your tacos. What up, puppy dog? Got a little shake happening over here. Yeah, the rain yesterday kind of was not his friend. He had to have his thunder shirt on. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You're a good dog. There's no rain today. The sky is clear as far as the eye can see. And I'm farsighted, so that's pretty far. The ground wasn't so clear earlier. I got a piece of high ground at one point on the drive home, and I could see east a pretty fair ways. And there's all that ground, that agricultural areas that had these little patches of fog clinging. And of course the river, any place moisture could rise from. And it was just pretty. But it wasn't the right time and place to stop and take pictures. What up, puppy? No, that big dog is not gonna get you. He's not. You're safe. Birds aren't gonna get you either. We have red-tailed hawks and some bald eagles in the area, so he's at risk of being carried off. That's one of the reasons I'm out with him so often. But I think it's getting about time to take him in. His breakfast is in there and his water bowl is in there. And the cat had breakfast too. Yeah, that's the neighbor's dog being sad over there. And you don't even get to go adopt him. Isn't that terrible? I hear you. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. He wants someone to sit next to him and pet him and tell him he's a good boy. But like I said, he knows his job. He'll bark if I go over there. Not my job to sit there and pet him. I'll sit here and pet this guy. Really? Okay, I think this is long enough. So y'all, don't be a Charlie Foxtrot. Pull over when ambulances and fire trucks are coming through. And appreciate what's around you. If robins and urban yard bunnies are your signs of spring, appreciate them when you see them. And when you have a beautiful, beautiful day, appreciate that too. And try to appreciate each other. Be safe, be healthy, eat what you should eat. Grandma wants you to be okay. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.